viewers now. Information on portfolios coming in thick and fast. I'm going to connect back with you. Stay on with me. Three big announcements, and they're all, viewers, suggestive of continuity. The Prime Minister deciding that continuity is going to be the leitmotif, at least as of now. We're being told that Nitin Gadkari retains his portfolio. He's done fantastic work as Road Transport and Surface Minister, as Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, and of course Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister. Under Rajnath Singh, there's been a huge impetus in the privatization of defence manufacturing in the country, viewers. And remember, large number of factories have been set up. The entire realm of Make in India has been backed by the government to such an extent that from cryogenic engine technology up till missile technology, we're even now beginning to make our own big frigates and ships. And this means a huge impetus for the defense sector, continuity there. Remember, Rajnath Singh in a previous avatar, viewers, was Home Minister. So Home and Defense, he's retained his defense portfolio. The other big name, Nitin Gadkari, 80,000 crores on building and upgrading rural roads. He's been holding this portfolio for a decade. He continues for another palpable 5 years. Since 2014, I think 200,000 kilometers of roads have been built, which is about 109 kilometers of roads per month. Now, all of this, viewers, means that over a period of time, these individuals have become extremely familiar with the work they are supposed to do, the pace at which they're supposed to do this at, and also, of course, the manner in which Mr. Modi functions. Now, we know that, and let me just bring in both our reporters, Aman, as well as, let me go across to, yes, let me first go across to Aman. Aman, what do you make of this? Three important decisions taken. We've got the information before anyone else. Talk us through.
Rahul, I think the biggest name, Rajnath Singh retaining Defence Ministry, so it doesn't seem that there is any change in the CCS. I think we can safely say that now. Mr. S. Jaishankar in External Affairs Ministry, Mr. Rajnath Singh continuing as the Defence Minister of the country. I would say Nirmala Sitharaman likely as the Finance Minister of the country as well. We'll have to wait for the final list to come. Nitin Gadkari, who's put up a phenomenal performance in the Roads and the Highways Ministry. Crew continue as the Road and Transport Minister. I think a big message of continuity here. Rajnath Singh responsible for, I think, the turnaround in the defence industry, the exports which have grown manifold in the defence sector in the last 5 years. Also, defence is an area which requires a very, very upright minister, somebody, who can resist all these external pressures which come with the Defence Ministry. Under Mr. Rajnath Singh, the army, especially the kind of aggression India has shown on the China border, eye-to-eyeball confrontation in the last 4 years. I think Mr. Rajnath Singh continuing as the Defence Minister is good news for the India's security establishment. Mr. S. Jaishankar, who has transformed India's, I would say, diplomatic relations with many other, the expertise, the USP, his ground knowledge of entire diplomacy, which he brings to the table. S. Jaishankar continuing as the External Affairs Minister. Nitin Gadkari, as we have said, the record pace at which roads and highways have been built in this country. He is somebody, I remember Nitin Gadkari once saying, this is a ministry he himself asked from the Prime Minister. In the last term, the Prime Minister maybe wanted to give him one of the CCS ministries, but he said, no, I want road and transport because this is my expertise and I will perform in this ministry. He's retaining it again. So a record third term for Nitin Gadkari as the Roads and Highways Minister. Third term for Rajnath Singh, 2 terms. First term he was the Home Minister. Now 2 terms he will be the Defence Minister of the country. And as you know, Mr. Jaishankar, these are the 3 confirmed names we can say. They are retaining their post. So I don't see any major changes in the CCS, the top 4 ministries, Home, Finance, External Affairs and Defence, Rahul.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's important really to wait for the official list, Aman, but you're right. At least 2 of those very vital names that form the part of the CCS retained. So there's Mr. Jaishankar as well as, of course, Rajnath Singh, who retain those portfolios. No surprises there, viewers. Remember, the Prime Minister very keen on continuity. He has to hit the ground running. the elections have been a bit of a mixed bag for the BJP. Don't forget, viewers, stopping short of majority. They wouldn't have liked that. That would have scratched at them, gnawed at them, and they really want to ensure that there are no slip-ups this time in the public perception of their commitment to Viksit Bharat. Let me go straight across to Payal Mehta. Payal, the Prime Minister playing it a bit safe here. He's known to pull out a few wild cards, but I think because of the sheer number of new ministers, there will be some more portfolios perhaps created or added.
Yes, there will be, in fact, a lot of new faces will be put into various ministries. But one thing is very interesting to watch out for. Rajnath Singh has been rewarded for his consistent work, so has Nitin Gadkari. So the Prime Minister putting a lot of faith in his old tested war horses, basically who have survived the test of every kind as well. Mr. Jaishankar is known to be a foreign diplomat. He's been somebody who's played the foreign secretary's role in the past. He's been somebody who's been navigating for India all across the world, especially with the US and China in particular as well. So that's the reason he's been rewarded. And Mr. Jaishankar was very confident that he would retain this portfolio, because even though there have been speculation that have been doing the round that possibly he would be with the NSA, all of this has been laid to rest yesterday when he took oath as well. And he's very confident, and he's probably preparing to go to Italy with the Prime Minister for G7. But yes, a lot of new names are going to be coming in as well. There's Lal Khattar, there's Shivraj Singh Chauhan. There are multiple places, like Ram Mohan Naidu from the TDP, Lalan Singh from the JDU. All these people are cabinet minister ranks. They have to be given something really respectful. Although road and transport would have been something which would have been on the mind of the TDP leadership, but of course Nitin Gadkari retaining it, and rightly so, because Nitin Gadkari is said to be everybody's friend. He's been somebody who's been working for the entire part of the country, building a network of roads, and something which in fact has got him a huge name and reputation. But Nitin Gadkari has not been scared to try uncharted territories also in the past. When he was given the Ministry of MSME, he made a lot of innovations in the MSME ministry as well. So they say wherever you put Nitin Gadkari, he's going to come out as a performer. It's probably his attitude towards his work. It's probably his attitude towards a positive approach towards life, and probably in a way looking at getting Hafta Mein Afsar, as they call it.
Yes, just ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, of course, statistics did emerge from that ministry that the total construction under Mr. Modi over 10 years was set to now touch 95,000 crores. So, Aman, that was a big mark. Remember, infrastructure is huge under Mr. Modi, huge budgetary allocation, even in the curtailed budget that came through in February, huge allocation on capex, because obviously, viewers, if India has to grow at that rate, you have to make that infrastructure happen. I mean, that's really the priority right now. We're getting more names coming through. Shripad Yesso Nayak, Manohar Khattar, Power, Housing and Urban Affairs Minister. How do you look at this?
Well, Rahul, the first question, if I answer that first, capex spend is a major thing in this government. It stands at 11% of the total budget in the interim budget which was just presented. Last year it was about 10%. So capex ministries, the key ministries, the infrastructure spend are road transport and highways, defense ministry. So we see the two senior ministers of the government being repeated in these two key ministries. These ministries also had the highest capex spend last year, along with railways. That's the third important ministry which has a lot of capex spend. So infrastructure creation is a big priority of Modi government going into the third term as well. That is the road we are taking to becoming the third largest economy in the world, and also boosting our growth figures. So I think those two inductions, those two.
And Mr. Khattar now getting Power Minister, Housing and Urban Affairs. Payal, what do you make of this?
Well, of course, Manohar Khattar has been the Chief Minister of Haryana in the past. He was in fact brought back to the centre at the behest of the decision taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Housing is a very key issue as far as the state of Haryana is really concerned as well. He had to be given a respectable ministry in sense. Hardeep Puri has worked for the last 5 years of this government, has worked very aggressively, especially in the Central Vista project as well. And with his administrative experience in place, the government of the day is hoping that Mr. Manohar Khattar will be able to handle the issues. And Power Ministry is also a very key ministry. That was a ministry first held by Mr. Piyush Goyal, and of course R.K. Singh, the outgoing minister who lost his election recently, was the power minister in the last government.
Well, he's got his work cut out because the Prime Minister has set a target of 3 crore houses under the PM Awas Yojana, and he says these houses have to be built. This is actually the big decision coming out of that cabinet meeting. after which we're getting all these names, viewers. So Manohar Lal Khattar will be under the pump from day one. He will have to deliver on that target, and Mr. Modi is known to be an exacting taskmaster who will be looking very closely at the outcomes. Shripad Yesso Naik getting MOS power. Micro, small and medium enterprise minister Jeetamram Manjhi. So this is an important portfolio. Aman, going across to an ally this time.
Yes, MSME is a very, very important portfolio, very, very important for the industry, for,
Job
growth.
creation.
Right now, MSME going to Jitin Ram Manjhi, an experienced, I would say, a former Chief Minister of Bihar, a key ally, though he has only one seat, but he comes from a really backward community in Bihar. So a lot of messaging in giving him a full cabinet post, despite Mr. Jitin Ram Manjhi winning only one seat. ML Khattar, Rahul, very, very important, getting two important ministries, power as well as housing and urban affairs. So ML Khattar, as we have been saying since yesterday, was really a dark horse here, somebody who's been former Haryana Chief Minister, but a real trusted lieutenant of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's been entrusted with two important ministries, power as well as housing and urban affairs.
And he's going to be, Jeetamram Ramji, that is going to be sort of assisted by Shobha Karandalaje, who's going to be the MOS of MSMEs. Now, MSME is very important focus area, viewers. Jobs has been really the problem, hasn't it, under the 5 or 10 years of Mr. Modi. And that's what many people say cost him those additional 60 seats that could have seen him go 300 par or 300 plus. That hasn't happened. Jobs come through smaller industries. MSME is very, very critical. I'll quickly give you a whole rundown now, viewers. Amit Shah to retain the Home Ministry. So Aman was right back there when he said that CCS not going to change much. We are being told that road transport and highways with Nitin Gadkari, ML Khattar gets urban development. Very important again, because the housing sector is something that the Prime Minister is going to use to try and push the narrative that welfare happens and also Vikas happens under his watch. Finance, Nirmala Sitharaman is set to retain finance. Big news, commerce and industry, Piyush Goyal, INB Railways, Ashwini Vaishnav. INB Minister will be Ashwini Vaishnav now, viewers. It was earlier held by Mr. Thakur, who's not made it back this time, even though he led the party in Himachal Pradesh to get all those 4 seats. But Anurag Thakur missing out on INB. This is going to be Ashwini Vaishnav now. Education Minister Pradhan, Dharmendra Pradhan gets Education Ministry. Pretty much according to form, Payal, not many changes here.
Well, not many changes. The BJP leadership trusting the old war horses. And it's a huge jump as far as Ashwini Vaishnav is concerned. Remember, Rahul, he in 2021 was brought to the Modi cabinet as a bureaucrat turned politician, as a Rajya Sabha member. Recently got his Rajya Sabha for another full term with the support of BJP before the entire election panned out as well. He's been somebody who's been handling the campaign and the publicity for the 2024 elections. Many really thought that probably railways would not be given to him because many parties in the state of Bihar would want railways, but he's been a performing minister. The Vande Bharat train network, the Vande metro train network is something Ashwini Vaishnav championed in a big way. He's a trusted lieutenant of the Prime Minister. Even before he became a minister, he was somebody who actually gave a lot of feedback to the government of the day in terms of given his experience in the industry.
Okay, big news coming in. This is big breaking news, viewers. So the two newcomers, Mr. Khattar and now Shivraj Chauhan, getting weighty portfolios. Shivraj Chauhan getting the Agricultural Ministry, not something that was unexpected. Aman, you were talking about this a little while back, saying that you had spoken to the aides of Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and they were all pretty reconciled to getting the Agricultural Ministry. This is an important one, isn't it?
He's got two, Rahul, agriculture and rural development both. So two very, very important portfolios related to the rural sector, agriculture and rural development. Both are going to Shivraj Singh Chauhan. So ML Khattar also gets two portfolios, so does Shivraj Singh Chauhan. So the two former chief ministers from Madhya Pradesh and Haryana respectively being entrusted by Mr. Narendra Modi with extremely important portfolios. Their expertise will be brought to the fore here. The experience, the wealth of experience they have of running states, especially Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, multiple time chief minister who's delivered Madhya Pradesh to the BJP, both at the state and all 29 Lok Sabha seats of Madhya Pradesh coming to the BJP this time. Shivraj Singh Chauhan being rewarded with agriculture, rural development as well. Both two key ministries. That comes also with Panchayati Raj, So it's a multiple bouquet of rural ministries which are going to Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Big move. And we were anticipating
Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has a lot of respect amongst the agrarian sector, viewers. Jagat Prakash Nadda gets health minister. So he's the BJP chief who is asked to come back into government, viewers, getting the health ministry, another very important sector. But Shivraj Singh Chauhan will have his task cut out. There are a large number of individuals, even now, viewers, amongst the farmers who are still camping outside on the borders of Delhi, demanding a law on NSP. And he has got to now go and interlocute with them. That is fundamentally crucial. If he is the person who, and he has a lot of experience, viewers, he's dealt with agrarian crisis in Madhya Pradesh. There has also been, of course, a lot of, at one time, viewers, backlash against his government in the agrarian sector, and he was very quick to overcome some of that. It did cost him in the middle, but then he's back there and he has to now negotiate with these farm lobbies. It's not going to be easy, but it's a very critical job. And I think the Prime Minister has taken on somebody who's mature, who has resolve, and of course is extremely, extremely tactful. Yes. Let me go straight across to Aman for more inputs. Yes, Aman.
And Rahul, Shivraj Singh Chauhan is also credited to complete turnaround of the agriculture situation in Madhya Pradesh. That has been his USP. The irrigated area under Madhya Pradesh jumping manifold under his term as the chief minister. Madhya Pradesh was one state where agriculture was completely in shambles. When
and there were protests at one time. Power also, there was a huge problem, and he seemed to have got his, he seemed to got it right there. So I think that experience will come in.
Yes,
very much.
And Ashwini Vaishnav, Rahul, getting the most important portfolios, railways he's retaining, getting INB ministry as well. I think very, very big as well. Again, a minister who's getting two important portfolios. Ashwini Vaishnav, I would say the standout performer in Modi 2.0. He showed his mettle in handling railways as well as IT. Now he's being given the charge of railways and the INB ministry. So he'll be the chief spokesperson in a way of the government, and he's very good at it, Rahul. He loves giving those, presentations to everybody, whoever he meets, about what all Modi government has done. I think a great choice in an INP minister who has very good relations across journalists, and you can really get the messaging across, which is a big concern of the Modi government, to get the message across, to the people. I think Ashwini Vaishnav, an excellent choice. Railways, of course, has been Ashwini Vaishnav's, big success story, be it the Vande Bharats, be it the complete electrification of the railway network. He has worked wonders in railways, and I think rightfully being rewarded.
And Vaishnav himself was not really a stranger to the world of journalism either. So there will be a little bit of, I suppose, familiarity there. But very importantly, it's very crucial because the Modi government has been under a little bit of the lens globally about the manner in which it has dealt with the media, according to some of its bitterest critics. Many of them, of course, sit in the opposition, saying that you've cultivated a sort of Godi media, etc., etc. So he'll have to really deal with some of that. Let me go across to Payal. Payal, that's not going to be easy, is it? The media has become a real intense focus, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. There have been very naysayers who've been saying that every voice in the democracy has been crushed and all of that.
Yeah.
But Ashwini Vaishnav is not new to communication. He's handled communication in the past as well. Remember, he was in the team of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He worked in that respect as well, so he knows exactly how the government really works. As an IT minister also, he handled a lot of crises, including the kind of run-ins that we had with Twitter and Facebook, etc. He's handled all of that very, very critically.
Yeah.
He's got to his success the passing of the historical data protection bill, something which the world is looking forward to. He's spoken at global platforms, and like Aman was saying, he's somebody who loves interacting with people. He's a very low-profile person otherwise. He loves interacting with people.
Very crucial. I need to interrupt you. Very crucial portfolio going to Kiran Rijiju, Parliamentary Affairs Minister. In the past, he was Law Minister. Then he was sort of Sports Minister for a while. But now, Kiran Rijiju becomes the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. This time, Parliament is going to be a hotbed, viewers, of all sorts of intrigues, because obviously the BJP has not got a majority on its own. It will need to work the aisles. It will have to build consensus. A lot of legislations will perhaps be sort of subjected to the pulls and pushes. Let me go across to Arun Tanta on this. Arun, this is an important one. He has to work the aisles. Does he have the nous to do so?
Well, that's right, Rahul. We had seen in the last tenure that he was removed from the law ministry, and then this time around, of course, in the NDA 3.0, we are seeing that he's given a responsibility of parliamentary affairs. And remember, parliamentary affairs is a very crucial ministry. In the last government, it was Prahlad Joshi was the cabinet minister, and then Arjun Meghwal, of course, also was the junior minister. So Kiran Rijiju will have a huge responsibility when you have a very strong opposition. How he's going to maintain the balance, to run the house is also going to be very significant. There are very quick developments which are taking place. The likes of Gajendra Singh Shekhawat will be the culture and tourism minister. Suresh Gopi and Rao Inderjeet Singh will be the MOS in culture and tourism. Ashwani Vaishnav will be the INB ministry, and Anurag Thakur, of course, the last INB minister has been dropped this time around.
There are more portfolios coming through. There are more portfolios coming through. In between all of this, we've heard that the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde unit is also meeting. Now, they are supposedly a little upset because they don't think they're getting their due, but that's a story that we'll come back to. Ravneet Singh Bittu, the newcomer from the Congress, didn't win the election but gets minority affairs. So this is signaling, big signaling, Aman, to Punjab. Here you have a minister, an individual who was very close to Rahul Gandhi, picked here in Delhi to lead the campaign, switches sides, doesn't do well, but manages to get a very plum assignment.
Well, absolutely. Ravneet Singh Bittu, very, very important. He has lost the Lok Sabha election to Amrinder Raja Singh Vading, the Congress state chief from Ludhiana, but the BJP has chosen to retain him because, he switched over to the BJP. Now he's being brought into the Council of Ministers specially, and he'll be given a Rajya Sabha berth as well now to enable him to become a minister. So BJP, I think, going the extra mile for Ravneet Singh Bittu here, who's lost an election, but still he is being retained, brought in the Council of Ministers as the MOS for minority affairs. A very, very big reach out also to the Sikhs in Punjab, because now you have a minority affairs minister from Punjab who is taking over. Also, very interesting, Rahul, a couple of other things we can break them. Bhupendra Yadav and Dharmendra Pradhan both are retaining their ministries. These were both the ministers sitting yesterday in the front row.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, and I put you on the spot there, is Mr. Pradhan happy to be at the center?
Well, yeah, anybody would have preferred to be, I think, the chief minister of a full state, but I think Mr. Modi requires the expertise of Dharmendra Pradhan in Delhi. He's been a very, very good education minister, somebody who's driven the implementation of the new education policy, and that is work in progress. And I think Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan being retained in the education ministry to fast track the rollout of the new education policy across the country, very, very key initiative of the Modi government. So we see him retaining the education ministry, Bhupendra Yadav retaining the environment ministry, somewhere where India at the various climate change talks, he's been a revelation there, leading India's case very, very forcefully against the Western nations, putting up India's case very, very strongly at international forums, and as per the India's net zero targets and, the green revolution we've seen in India, the green energy revolution we have seen in India, and renewable energy, I think Mr. Bhupendra Yadav also being continued. So I think the big message here, Rahul, is the continuity. We are seeing no change in the top four Raisena held ministries. Nirmala Sitharaman at finance, Amit Shah at home, Rajnath Singh at defense, S. Jaishankar at external affairs, and even the key ministries below, railways, Ashwani Vaishnav, Bhupendra Yadav, environment, Dharmendra Pradhan, education. So we are seeing a big message of continuity.
Well, there's continuity with a lot of experience. These former chief ministers being given plum assignments. Let's get a sense from the opposition as to how it's looking at these portfolios. And let me introduce to us all viewers Dr. Ranganathan, who's of course a commentator looking at this change, and also of course Kamru Chaudhary, and we also have the BJP's national spokesperson RP Singh. Kamru Chaudhary, your first comments.
Yeah. Basically, you see the continuity in the cabinet that Narendra Modi ji brought out. I feel there. I can't say more than what he feels like. All along, we have been shouting that the India is witnessing a jobless growth. You need to course correct on that. But there is no heed to this. If you continue with the ministers from the previous regime, that means the policies get carried forward to the new regime. We have been shouting head over heels that the railways need capacity improvement. We cannot design policies only for the privileged class. Coaches, trains need to be introduced for the poor of the country. but alas, you have continued with the same ministers. There are a lot to talk about what could have been done in this ministry, who should have retained the finance ministry, who should have been there a new finance ministry to give us a new direction to the growth story of India. Should have been a better one if you had a new what do you call this, the agricultural ministry needed a very foresighted person in that, Shivraj Singh Chauhan in that ministry. I doubt what.
So he set a record as the chief minister. He's overcome a lot of rural distress in Madhya Pradesh to return to power, on several occasions. Anyhow, let me quickly bring in RP Singh. RP Singh, some of these areas, job creation, the MSME sector didn't really pick up. Why have we retained some of these people? Of course, in the MSME sector, you have Mr. Manji, who was a former chief minister at one time, so he's come in. But you have others who, according to the opposition, haven't done very well. Railway ministry, why haven't you changed that around? Why is Mr. Vaishnav still getting it?
We have probably one of the best railway ministers in the country, and the amount of electrification which has happened countrywide of the railways under his regime, under his being a minister, is remarkable. And also the sort of improvement which has happened in the railway overall, the traveling experience also, and also the experience at the platforms also, and the way technology has been blended with the whole of the processes of the railway, right from the booking of the ticket, right from booking of the ticket to everything else, from freight and everything. But that point aside, he's talking Shivraj Singh Chauhan, as the agriculture minister. Sir, please go through his track record on agriculture growth in Madhya Pradesh itself. The way Madhya Pradesh has turned around in last 10 years on agriculture part, it's tremendous. It used to be a state which was lacking behind all other states, and it used to be called as Bimaru state, and today is one of the most aggressive state on agriculture and other domains also. And as I was talking on finance minister, please, sir, the lady Nirmala Sitharaman has turned around the economy. The way she has turned around the economy, the way the GDP growth is happening, the way the numbers are, where the markets are reacting. We all know the country is on a right track and in right hands, and then her policies had taken us ahead from number 11 to 5, and now the commitment is from number 5 to 3. So it's a matter of continuity that she is there.
Okay. Okay. Let me open this up.
Can I make another point?
Please, quickly. Yes. Yeah.
Especially Ravneet Singh Bittu being allocated Minority Affairs Ministry is a message to not only Punjab minorities, countrywide also. And he is a very capable young lad. I've personally interacted with him, and he'll surely bring new colors, and then he'll bring everyone on board as far Minority Affairs Ministries go, and he'll ensure that this message which has been propagated with opposition, that minorities are not safe or minorities
are
taken.
So one small change, news of a change coming in. TDP gets aviation. So that's Ram Mohan Naidu, one of the youngest ministers to be sworn in. He comes in. C.R. Patil gets Jal Shakti Ministry, which is very important. Har Ghar Nal is a big push area for the Prime Minister. So this is a big one. Let me quickly go across to Payal. If you're there, Payal, we're seeing a big change. Okay, Pallavi, aviation goes to Mr. Naidu of the TDP. This is the second time the TDP will get that portfolio. Dr. Ranganathan is also there with us. I'll come out to you, but Pallavi.
Yes, absolutely. But look at the interesting fact. Most of the top ministries have been completely untouched. They have remained the same. So that is where the continuity comes in. The Prime Minister even today has spoken about the 100 days agenda, that we have to fulfill it ASAP. We have to get cracking. These are the key nodal ministries. For example, finance, home, defense, external affairs, which means that at this point of time, he didn't want to tinker with that. But at the same time, accommodating the allies. Gajapati Raju, I remember, was at one point of time the civil aviation minister. Goes back. This is again a key ministry, but the groundwork has been done a lot by Jyotiraditya Scindia. Hardeep Puri continues to retain the petroleum ministry. The urban affairs, of course, goes across to Manohar Lal Khattar, the former chief minister of Haryana. But by and large, very quickly, it is more intact. I find the choice of Ashwini Vaishnav as an INB minister very, very important, because this government, because it's a coalition government in a larger sense, will also have to communicate more. There was one grievance where the Prime Minister often insists on that we need to communicate, we need to tell the people of the country what is our good work. This is exactly what is important. The Prime Minister will use his office, Ashwini Vaishnav, low profile, reticent, but a good articulate minister. And therefore, he is going to use to communicate, one, that there's nothing wrong with the coalition government at all. And the second, of course, is the good work which is being done by the government.
Well, of course, there are other issues too, and the ministry will have to tackle that because there has been this persistent claim, as we know from certain constituencies, that the media is managed, that democracy is being stifled, that the state is overbearing. Dr. Ranganathan, let me bring you in on this. The top four, the CCS, the CCA, remain the same. Experience plus, of course, continuity is the message. Modi is in control, the two Cs. But most importantly, there are misgivings about the minorities not being given enough. Muslims are not being given enough portfolios, this, that, the other. Mr. Chaudhary is just warming up to this game. And when I go back to him, he'll open that front. So I want you to anticipate it. Give us an idea of first what your thoughts are, and then get into the nitty-gritties.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First, a gentle castigation of you, Rahul. You can either, I think you should either have this show that you have or write an article. Because once you write an article, there's so many facts you give in it that it's redundant to have this show. I read your article on the Muslim representation. There's no point debating it. You've completely killed it.
Thank you, sir.
Anyhow, I need to make couple of points rather before Kamruji, my good friend, comes in. Number one, as far as Muslim representation is concerned, I'm sure you would ask him or love to ask him, why is it that the Congress and its allies in Maharashtra did not have a single Muslim candidate? Number one, if they were so worried about Muslim representation. Number two, for them to say that Muslims must be represented by Muslims, does that mean to say that the reality that the Congress does not have a single leader or chosen MP who is not a homosexual means that the Congress doesn't care about homosexuals? And number three, of all the MPs who are elected as Muslim MPs, do the Congress and other allies mean to say that they will no longer care for the Hindu electorate in their constituencies just because they are Muslims? And number four, and I've said the data before you, no Prime Minister, living or dead, has done as much for Muslims as Narendra Modi has. So if Kamruji can bring out rebuttal for any of these 4 points, starting with the fact that Congress did not have a single Muslim as a candidate, shameful for Congress, and now they are preaching principles of Muslim representation to others. So, I'd be grateful. But coming back to the portfolio, I think Modi, as you rightly said, has chosen for consistency or constancy rather than change. The big four remain the same, i.e. the Home Minister Amit Shah, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, and the Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation. And I'll give you 1 lakh rupees, Rahul, if you can tell me who was the ex-Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Where is the report from that ministry? We keep looking for it. We keep, I pass this building every day, slightly different, of course, but it's the census building. Beautiful, gleaming, new fresco has been painted across it. It's gorgeous, and I wonder, usme log karte kya honge?
But there's a very subtle message I wanted to give, Rahul, because 10 years ago, when Prime Minister Modi said maximum governance, minimum government, he had, I think, 44 Council of Ministers. Today, there are 72 or 74.
Well, actually, to be fair, by the end of the last iteration, the NDA 2, they actually went up to about 76. Then it came down to about 71 because some left. So, ye mid-course bhi hota hai. So, I think everyone likes their births. Some are still, but most are productive. Anyhow, very quickly, Mr. Chaudhary, I'm just going to come back to you. I just want to go back to Aman and Payal to get a quick update on some of the other announcements. Annapurna Devi, Women and Child Development, she's also very important portfolio holder. Many people felt that that ministry was slightly not up to the mark on certain issues and the handling of those certain issues. But We have a new person. Ravneet Singh Bittu, Minority Affairs Minister, very important. Amit Shah, of course, retains the Home Ministry. All those names at the bottom of your screen. Let me try to go across to Payal. Okay, we don't have a reporter at this moment, but we're going to try and connect back to them. Yes, Mr. Chaudhary. Look, let's not look for an issue where there is none. You have an unbeatable combination of continuity and experience. Mr. Gadkari is a outperformer. You have the Home Minister who's done a fantastic job. Yes, there might be a quibble here and there. India is a huge country to manage, but by and large, settled Jammu and Kashmir, brought back the conditions for democracy to flourish, so much so, sir, that people are now even voting separatists. In Punjab also, you have free and fair elections to the point where two individuals who don't align themselves with constitutional values are there. I mean, how much freer can you be in this country? Credit must go to the Home Ministry. It's created this atmosphere, laissez-faire almost. Come on.
Rahul, that's the beauty of a democracy. The eyes with which you see this government, I may see it at a different angle.
Of course.
A different viewpoint is there.
Yes.
We agree to disagree on a number of points with the government on this thing. But a new government has come in with a new umide for the entire population of India. But what I feel was the lost decade of governance, the last 10 years of Narendra Modi ji, where we could have propelled at least 10
talk
times
in terms
more
of,
faster.
hang on, the GDP, look at where it's gone from where to where. Come on, give me,
Okay,
how can you just
I
say
counter
lost
on
decade?
This particular point?
Fragile 5 to top 5.
Can I counter you on this particular point of GDP?
Yeah, please, sir, go.
What is the growth rate of the GDP per capita in India? You compare the GDP of the country, but you do not compare the disposable cash at the hands of the Indians. The poor has become poorer, the rich has become richer. Now, don't tell me about this thing. In 2000, the joblessness in the country, do you know what was the data? It was 5.6% unemployment rate in 2000. It is now around 15.1% as per the International Labour Organization India Employment Report 2004. Well, it is 15.1% as per the ILO. File a case against ILO if it is wrong. Now don't try to say that everything is hunky-dory. We have got the Home Minister of India, Amit Shah ji, spooking up millions of people in this country when he wanted to explain the meaning of chronology during the CA. Do you understand that? When the Prime Minister says in the Parliament,
it's the people who, hang on. It's the people in the opposition that misconstrued the entire CAA, claiming that Muslims will lose their citizenship. It had nothing to do with Indian Muslims, sir. And please, this old chestnut can't be fried constantly in the pan. I'm sorry. Let's on that, sir, but you have to be factual. You and I can sit across the table and constantly disagree and agree not to disagree and all of this, but come on, base something in fact. 1 minute. Let me bring in Aman. Aman, very quickly, criticisms coming in on the fact that the Prime Minister has played too safely, that certain ministries haven't performed, certain ministers haven't performed, and they have been retained. The finance particular is a downside. Why is Nirmala Sitharaman back? Very quickly, Aman.
Well, I'm always of the opinion that Nirmala Sitharaman would be retained as a finance minister. See, Rahul, this is the message of continuity. This is the message towards India has seen growth figures rising over the last few quarters. We are moving towards a high growth trajectory, and the latest S&P global ratings, if you see, has also changed the outlook on India. Nirmala Sitharaman is the senior most woman minister also in the cabinet, and she's a senior face, somebody who's been a senior spokesperson in the BJP. I think she was always supposed to retain the finance ministry. There was this narrative being spread by some that she will be changed. I was very sure since very long that she will retain, and that is why you see the top nucleus of the government is the same, because the BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi strongly believe that these people have performed, be it Amit Shah in Home Ministry, Rajnath Singh in Defence Ministry, S. Jaishankar in External Affairs Ministry, Nirmala Sitharaman in the Finance Ministry, Ashwini Vaishnav in Railways. If you see the other names, Nitin Gadkari in Roads and Highways, these are the big performers of the government, and that is why they are being retained. Nirmala Sitharaman, as we just, Ashwini Vaishnav, Kiran Rijiju getting the important task of Parliamentary Affairs Minister. Again, somebody who's known to be able to build those bridges. I think Kiran Rijiju getting a very, very important ministry here. Is also JP Nadda returning to his old health ministry, something he's very, very close to his heart. So Mr. JP Nadda also going. Jyotiraditya Scindia getting telecom. There are a few changes, Rahul. It's not that everybody is the same. There are a very few key changes which have been made. So Jyotiraditya Scindia moving from civil aviation to telecom ministry, because his civil aviation ministry is going to Ram Mohan Naidu of the TDP. TDP also had civil aviation ministry pre-2018 when they were with the NDA. So that same tradition is being followed by the BJP. So I think a big Mr. Bhupendra Yadav in environment ministry, as we were talking about earlier, somebody who's worked a lot towards India's renewable energy and the net zero target which Prime Minister has fixed, putting India's case very strongly in global forums. So these are the big names.
How do you read the Scindia to telecom?
Well, I think it's an upgrade, Rahul. I think telecom is a very, very important ministry. Government has this very ambitious 5G rollout plan over the next couple of years. I think he'll be pioneering that now. And it's going from, this is a ministry which is also, very high interaction with the private sector. You need a young, suave minister, Jyotiraditya Scindia, I think will be built. And he's performed in the civil aviation ministry as well, connecting to people on Twitter. We saw those times when, there used to be this congestion at the airport.
Mr. Mandavia now, let me bring in Payal. Mr. Mandavia moved out of the health into the labour sector. That's very important. Labour ministry, very critical this time. They're expected to be massive reforms in this area. Is he the person?
Well, of course, he's the trusted aide as far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned. Right from his Gujarat days to now, he's been part of the organization, played an extremely important role during the COVID crisis, Rahul. And he has met multiple challenges during the COVID time, whether it's to do with vaccines or supply of medicines, etc. as well. So once again, the crucial labour ministry, which is very, very critical to the opposition ruled states, especially in Bengal and Kerala, etc. Mansukh Mandaya is expected to play an important role. He's a very cool customer, very calm customer, but apart from that, he also has the Ministry of Youth Affairs. So sports being broken down. Earlier you had a minister, Anurag Thakur was the Minister for Sports and Youth Affairs both, but Mansukh Mandaya has now been given Youth Affairs as well. Focus as far as Jal Shakti is concerned, that also goes to a leader from Gujarat, C.R. Patil, becoming the cabinet minister for a very first time. He gets the crucial Jal Shakti ministry, which the Prime Minister really wanted to focus on. Remember, the Har Ghar Jal is the concept that the Prime Minister really wanted to see become a huge success. And C.R. Patil has been somebody who's been proven his mettle in the state of Gujarat by bringing in a win of 150 plus states in the assembly, 150 plus seats in the assembly as well. Culture and tourism, again a huge focus as far as this government is concerned, goes to an experienced candidate like Gajendra Singh, who actually started first with the agriculture ministry, then became the Jal Shakti minister as well. So the Prime Minister clustering his lieutenants with powerful portfolios, but a very, very important revelation, Kiran Rijiju. Last time around when Kiran Rijiju was dropped from the law ministry, everybody thought that probably his career was over because he was given the Earth and Sciences ministry. Even then, he continued to make news, but now he has this crucial responsibility.
Let me go across to G. Krishan Reddy on the phone. Mr. Reddy, thank you very much for speaking to me. We've lost you there. Sorry, Payal, I had to interject there. Yes, you were talking about Kiran Rijiju. Important, very important. I think it's a fundamentally important. He's at the fulcrum, really, of relationship building for this government. And it's going to be needed because this time the BJP is not in a majority. It has to carry the opposition along.
Well, Kiran Rijiju is known to be again a very, very cool and calm person. He's known to be somebody who can forge friendships across the entire network. He was in fact Narendra Modi's first choice as the tribal minister from the northeast. But everybody wrote him out saying that, once he came to Earth and Sciences minister, probably that would be the exit for him. But he's risen from the dead, it seems. He's a parliamentary affairs minister. The BJP does not have great numbers in the Rajya Sabha, and in the Lok Sabha also the numbers are pretty down as well. So the opposition will be up and hounding the government as well, where Kiran Rijiju can play an important role. He is somebody that everybody won't mind speaking to. He's somebody who can actually have a conversation with people. So that appointment is very, very important as far as the parliament session is concerned.
Well, let me just very quickly, viewers, bring you up to speed. Minister of State for Independent Charge. You have Rao Inderjeet Singh, big reward because this gentleman is from Haryana. Minister of State of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Dr. Ranganathan was talking about that. But Minister of State of the Ministry of Planning and, of course, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture. So that's important. Dr. Jitendra Singh retains pretty much the entire portfolio. Science and Technology, Ministry of Earth Sciences, PMO, Personnel, Public Grievances, Pensions, Department of Atomic Energy and the Department of States. I think he gets one of these new charges there. So his workload is going to increase. Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Minister of State for the Ministry of Law and Justice and Minister of State in the Ministry of Parliament Affairs. So again, another person hailing this time from Rajasthan, used to work now with Mr. Rijiju to build those relationships across the aisles. Mr. Ganpat Rao, Jadhav Pratap Rao Aman, Minister of State for the Ministry of Ayush and Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So here, and Jayant Chaudhary, another important name. So some allies now coming into the mix. Aman.
Yes. So we can see the full list now, which has been put out by the government. Now, official list is now out. So let us speak of the independent charges, ministers first, which we haven't really looked at. Jitendra Singh retaining the DOPT charge as well as Science and Technology. He was the Minister of State in the PMO as well earlier, retaining the same charges. We have Arjun Ram Meghwal in charge of law. The independent charge for law ministry. As earlier, he's also Minister of State in the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. So he'll be assisting Kiran Rijiju there. Jadhav Pratap Rao, Ganpat Rao from the Shiva Sena. He's getting the Minister of State independent charge, Ministry of Ayush and MOS in Health and Family Welfare. Jayant Chaudhary, very important, a key ally, won both his seats for the RLD, Minister of State in the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, also MOS in the Ministry of Education. So this is, I think, the youth factor. Jayant Chaudhary's youth image will be very helpful for the government in the key area of
also skill development. Yes. Uttar Pradesh entrepreneurship requires a lot of job creation there and productivizing, incentivizing the youth. So that's very important. Yes, you're absolutely right. Jitin Prasada, Minister of State there. What do you make of this? Interesting pick. Minister of State, Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Important portfolios.
Yeah, two of them, Jitin Prasada. So he's been given two portfolios in Minister of State, Commerce and Industry as well as IT. So very interesting portfolios. IT something.
I think he held commerce at one time when he was in the UPA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so as well. He did hold that.
So and some experience there.
There's Mr. Ramnath Thakur, Rahul. He's the Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So he'll be assisting Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Ramnath Thakur, the son of Karpuri Thakur. Nityanand Rai continues in his same post as the MOS Home. Anupriya Patel, another woman face. She'll be an MOS in the Health and Family Welfare as well as Chemical and Fertilizers. V. Somanna, the BJP leader from Karnataka in Ministry of Jal Shakti. So these are the major names, I think.
So one name that we need to focus on, and I want to bring in Payal on this, H.D. Kumaraswamy gets a full cabinet berth, Minister of Heavy Industries and Minister of Steel. How do you interpret this, Payal? Important post for a very important ally, but many people say, oh, well, he's only got in a couple of seats, and the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra was hoping for some more berths, and they're sort of saying that, bhai, inka mila hai, hamare ko isse zyada, jitni abadi utna hak. What is happening there? Is that going to now surface as a crack?
Well, what I do understand very clearly is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had assured these colleagues in the various opposition party, in the allies, that he will not be unfair to anybody. He will be fair to everybody as well. And that is also which is very reflective, because he's given respectful ministries to a lot of people. But what I do see on the list, and a very important portfolio, is the portfolio which has been given to Bandi Sanjay. Bandi Sanjay is going to be Amit Shah's aide in the Home Ministry. He's been given the Ministry of Home Affairs, MOS as well. That's a very important portfolio, given the fact that Bandi Sanjay put up a huge fight in the state of Telangana to bring the BJP onto that map as well. He in fact went to jail a multiple number of times. He was made the General Secretary, removed as the party's president, but here he's been rewarded as well. And a very important portfolio also been given to Pavitra Margarita. Pavitra Margarita is Himanta Biswa Sharma's political advisor, a Rajya Sabha member of Parliament. He's become the MOS for Ministry for External Affairs. So we're just still reading through this. But yes, important portfolios distributed to the entire part of the country, representation given to all people, and of course H.D. Kumaraswamy should consider himself very lucky and fortunate the merit, and also at the same time retaining the key portfolios as far as trusted allies are concerned. The top four in the government remain unchanged. Nirmala Sitharaman continues to be the Minister for Finance and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. She's held this portfolio as well.
If you're just going to divide this according to regions, then two very important portfolios go to the south. Nirmala Sitharaman, of course, Minister of Finance and Minister of Corporate Affairs, and Jai Shankar getting Minister of External Affairs. So those two very critical CCS portfolios remain in the south. H.D. Kumaraswamy then comes in, provides more ballast, Minister of Heavy Industries and Minister of Steel. So Karnataka can feel rightly vindicated here. Minister of Civil Aviation is Kinjarappu Ram Mohan Naidu. So, you know, if you really look at it, Aman, the South getting heavy attention here in this.
Yes, there are a lot of ministers from, in fact, that was also in the
Minister of Coal, Minister of
important portfolios, absolutely,
yes,
important portfolios going to the South. And TDP is retaining its civil aviation ministry as it was pre-2018. Rahul Gajapati Raju was also the civil aviation minister from the TDP before they quit the NDA. So coming back, Ram Mohan Naidu is being given the same civil aviation ministry as per the same arrangement. But I think the big story, Rahul, is definitely the top remaining unchanged.
The top remaining.
The Raisina Hill remains the same. Big message of continuity. So the trusted faces, the top faces of the government remain the same. This would bring good, I think good progress to the existing schemes, because, every minister has been trying to work in Modi 2.0 on a particular game plan.
Let me also bring in Arun Dhata. I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me bring him in. He's also been waiting to get his say. Arun, give us a quick overview. How are you looking at this list? And I also want to go across to Dr. Ranganathan right after that. Yes.
Well, Rahul, the continuation that we are talking about, it's in the same manner. In fact, JP Nadda, BJP chief, is getting his old portfolio back, health minister. He's going to be the health minister and the minister of chemicals and fertilizer. The portfolio which was earlier held by Mansukh Mandavia, it was given to JP Nadda. Now Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the former chief minister of BJP stalwart leader, he has given a very meaty portfolio, Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Minister of Rural and Development. Manohar Lal Khattar, of course, the former chief minister of Haryana, he has also given a very good portfolio with the Housing and Urban Affairs Minister of Power also. So the messaging, of course, Rahul, is very clear. All those ministers who had worked well, either they are promoted, they are given better portfolios, or they are given the same one. Secondly, the people like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Manohar Lal Khattar, who are senior leaders, and that respect, of course, has been maintained by Modi government, giving them good solid portfolios to actually take the government's work forward. And also importantly, the roles of allies, the likes of Chirag Paswan getting the food processing ministry, which of course held by his father also, and of course Lalan Singh getting Panchayati Raj and rural development, which was earlier held by Giriraj Singh. So in totality,
what I'm finding very interesting, stay with me, what I'm really finding extremely interesting is that on some of those, Dr. Ranganathan, and let me also bring in RP Singh as well as Mr. Chaudhary on this. Dr. Ranganathan, the 3 or 4 key portfolios that require some attention, which is urban affairs and housing. Remember, the PM Awas Yojana, one of the big decisions taken in the cabinet meeting today was to expedite that program. And of course, job creation. So micro and medium enterprises goes to Ram Manji. Manohar Lal Khattar gets the housing portfolio. And of course, dealing with the farmers, all those restful farmers who have shown up periodically from Haryana and Punjab to lay siege to Delhi, that goes to Shivraj Singh Chauhan. How do you see this?
I think we've known for the last 10 years, increasingly so in fact, in the last 3 or 4 years, that the biggest, most important decisions are taken by Mr. Modi. And then the small micromanagement or machinations are taken over by the Council of Ministers. So for example, the biggest decision as far as agriculture was concerned were the farm reforms. They were taken by Mr. Modi. I doubt whether those 3 farm reforms in the same form would come again in the tenure of Mr. Chauhan. But I think it is also to be said that because it's got very close to a comfortable majority and it's going to run hopefully a stable government for the next 5 years, the Prime Minister has chosen for, what can you call it, not a shock and awe or not a change, but to remain with the same team that has won him at least this 3rd term.
Well, let me bring in RP Singh. RP Singh, I think Dr. Ranganathan is right because the Prime Minister was emphasizing the role of the PMO. He spoke to PMO staff and he says, we want to make this a people's PMO. And that underlines the significance. You see, it's at the fulcrum, isn't it, of the government?
Well, 2 parts to this. One is that, yes, is a fulcrum to the functioning of the complete government, and then ensures that it is grounded and has a hand on the pulse also. But also, let me tell you a very astonishing thing. I mean, you just mark a tweet on to PMO and you get a revert back. This is the first time it's happening in the country. You send a message, you send a social media message, and you get a revert back. I have tried myself and as a citizen, and I got a reply back. So this is the difference now. And then yes, PMO also need to keep a complete view of the complete situation, all ministries put together, so that the country moves in the right direction and in the direction which Prime Minister wants it to lead.
Well, Northeast Minister, interesting one, Dr. Ranganathan, Scindia getting that, and Manipur and certain other areas, sensitive, isn't it, this time?
Yes, and if I may, you have a new information communication minister. I think somebody has to kind of tell Mr. Modi or advise him that there are things that he must do instantly. Like, for example, we've talked about he should have gone to Manipur. Likewise, he should have commented on the deadly attack yesterday in Jammu. He still hasn't.
Well, this is important, viewers. Look, Mr. Amit Shah back as Home Affairs, the Minister of Cooperation. So at the interstices really of building and weaving together disparate parts of India. But very importantly, yes, RP Singh, look, I have to say
very
that
small political comment on what has happened in Riyasi is very dreadful. And
no, I actually, hang on. We have about 2 minutes. Dr. Ranganathan, why don't you hold forth on that point? You wanted to make something on Riyasi very quickly before we move on. Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking, Rahul, to be honest. But, Riyasi is not Rafah. And so there will be no eyes on it. Our children are not Gazans, and so their dead cherubic faces will not shake the world's conscience. Terrorism has no religion, and so no one will be blamed. Islamic terrorists fired at the bus. The bus fell into a gorge. The Islamists climbed down and fired at the bus wreck, at the helpless, injured Hindu pilgrims, women and children. Such cold-blooded murder, Rahul, is only possible when it is backed by religious doctrine that demands extermination of non-Muslims. Rahul, when will we understand the machinations of the Universal Brotherhood? These are desperate, dastardly plans hatched by the enemy state of Pakistan and aided and abetted, as some are saying in the police force, by some in India. Or as I've said previously, the snakes and ladders game, where the snakes are provided by Pakistan and ladders by India. But do we expect anything else in a state where the leaders of National Conference and PDP condole the killing of terrorists like Wani? Fact is that after Modi government abrogated Article 370, these terror apologists have been itching to foment trouble, even asking China to intervene. Since the abrogation, there has been an 87% decline in stone pelting incidents, 54% decline in terror incidents, 40% decline in youth joining terror organizations, but 48% increase in ceasefire violations by Pakistan. These guys are desperate. The heartbreaking image of Tutu, a 2-year-old child wrapped in a body bag, will be forgotten soon, Rahul, as was that heartbreaking image of a 3-year-old Sopore boy squatting on his dead grandfather. So I don't know what the solution is, to be honest.
Well, we're all looking for that, viewers. Certainly, let not anyone tell you this kind of hate and bigotry can be tackled by a political package. Let me tell you, viewers, that's not possible. We've all seen how that has fallen flat over the years. I leave it at this, viewers. We're right back with The Right Stand.